born an athlete, you'll die an athlete. It's in your DNA.
You're an athlete. Live like an athlete so that you can be successful in life.
You're an athlete. Live like it.
ANA, America needs athletes.
To get a little bit more of a reaction out of it. Welcome, athletes, into the gym closet for another excellent episode. If this is your first time joining us, please subscribe, click the bell, get the notifications, comment so that it jacks up the algorithm so it pushes us to more people. Do all that as a favor. We don't make any money on this.
We could be making a lot of money, you guys, but we just turn people away. Yeah. We don't want any ads on here. So we just ask that you like our podcast and share it with others. So then we don't have to bore you with ads because everyone just wants to be on our show. But
which I just saw that we were like 127 for subscribers now.
Dang.
Yeah, I think we hit 128 at our highest. And then someone unsubscribed.
Who?
Someone didn't like us. I think it was probably a
Dang.
bot.
Dang.
Because I got one that I had no recognition of. It was like from Finland, and then that one dropped off. So, or it might have been just Finland people might not like us.
Or it might have been a
like
Krave athlete. I mean,
From
we
Finland?
just
Maybe the Finland person is
you
still
know for
following
a fact
us
it was
and
them.
I think so.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, with 127, we should know who exactly it was.
Should
and
know
just call them
should
everyone.
know
out.
all of our followers, all of our
Yes.
subscribers.
But yeah, if this is the first time, what we talk about here is how to live like an athlete, how to be great in life, how to be success, and hopefully give some actionable steps for anybody that wants to continue to push and live their life to the best of their ability, which we define as living like an athlete. So we have been trying to get Zach interviewed for almost a decade now.
I don't know if
Yeah,
I don't
you
know
just-
if you guys have really been trying that hard. We tried once.
He always says, "I'm not
We've-
ready for it yet,
we've
guys.
tried
I'm not ready
to-
for it
we
yet."
keep
so.
asking him over and over and over, probably for the last several years, and he just keeps being unavailable. He keeps big timing us, and he's not able to answer our questions. And so after recording and re-recording like 17 times, I think we're going to get one in today.
Well, today will be the day that it finally works.
And it's going to be
Yes.
so good.
So good.
I think we even did more questions come in afterwards, I think.
Maybe.
That's why we didn't load it last week.
Right,
because
because I think more questions were still
we
popping
wanted
in.
to add value,
So
and we
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
want to shortchange any of our
Right,
listeners.
we
so,
have more questions now.
So we're going to get to that. But first, I was talking about a dream I had that I've had continuously, and everybody stopped me and said, talk about it on the podcast. I don't know why. It's not that great of a dream. But I have had...
No, it's just like what you do. Like, so I'll just be laying in bed, and all of a sudden he, like, gets up, and he's, like, really slow moving, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like,
Yes.
he's not moving fast enough to, like, go to the bathroom, because usually you just, like, shake the whole bed, and, like, you get out of there. Like, forget I'm there. I'm like, dude, like, can you just be a little bit less, like, just rambunctious about it? But,
Right.
so, yeah, so he wakes up, he, like, sits up, and he, like, looks around, and then he, like, steps out of bed.
So I have these lucid dreams
What
that
do
I can
you
kind of
do?
control, and I know what I'm doing physically, but I'm still in the dream mentally. So it's really weird because, so it almost feels like I have, you know, like the Pokemon Go, where you see the background, but it's added things to that background. It adds a Pokemon that then you can capture.
Yeah.
This is my dream, basically. So I'm in this dream, and it's like all of a sudden I don't know the premise, so I don't know what happens, and I can't control anything until I get to this point. But once I get to this point, I can control kind of what happens. But I get to a point, I don't know if it's a game show or what, but I get to this point where, like, I've controlled something to hit a lever that's like a slow moving, like, board full of nails is coming down, and it's like it's coming down onto me. And so, like, I simply, like, move out of the way and get up, and I can see my room in the dark, but then I'm also seeing this board because my eyes are open.
They are.
They're
It's
open.
dark
I can
as
see
heck in there.
I can see the bed and however much whatever we are in the shadows. And tell me if there's anybody that knows, like, this is a crazy, like, this means you are having these bad problems. But so then I see these or like a big spike is coming down like last night it was sideways. So I slowly got up. It was coming at me sideways. So I slowly got up and I went over the foot of the bed. And just got up and stood there.
I didn't.
And you just left Amber there?
Well, no, it's like
please
only
tell me
my.
that
It's
it's
like
coming to get me.
well, I have before too. I've like shook you or like
Yeah, and I'm like,
woken
what do
you
you
up.
need?
Yeah. So then I get out of bed, but then it's I can
And I'm
see
like, you're
the
not getting lucky tonight, babe. Go back to sleep.
I can see the mechanism, like it's not gonna hit you, it's just gonna stab me, and I've gotten out of the way, and then I'm like, wow, that was easy, and then I'll wake up, that thing disappears, and I'm like, oh, I'm standing at the foot of the mud bed.
My wife's yelling at me to lay back down.
Yeah.
'Cause
So
he'll be
that's
like,
that's my weird dream.
When I do, like, feel you get up, I'm like, what are you doing? You're like, gosh, I don't know, I just had a dream. I'm like, well, honestly, this is what I'm terrified about, is like in your dream, like you're gonna go to your gun safe or some shit and get that out. So I'm just like, every time you wake up, I'm like waiting to hear the pins on the lock.
Yeah, don't do
And
that.
I will freak out if you do.
At that point, you gotta yell at me to wake me up.
I know, but like that's just, I shouldn't tell you these because now maybe that's gonna like, I don't know, I would just be freaked out.
Yeah, no, I don't think I could. Well, I don't know. I can control it
I
enough to get
will,
out
I
of
will
bed.
like beat you. Be like, stop
No,
it.
that won't happen.
No, it's just interesting. Like sleepwalking to me has always been so interesting. Like I had a roommate I lived with in college, and she would like go eat because she would like sleepwalk to the kitchen to just go eat, and she would like wake up the next morning and like have eaten a bunch of food. And I just am like, you didn't know that you were like doing that?
That's crazy.
I know,
Yeah.
it's weird, but
Yeah, and I never like. I always wake up though at like as I get
Yeah.
off of the bed. Like as soon as I escape
it's always the
that
same
mousetrap,
time, right?
I always get
Right.
up and I'm like, huh, got you again, sucker.
You
I
guys
win.
don't sleepwalk or anything, or like?
I don't think so.
I had a cousin
I
that
have,
did it all
like-
the time.
Apparently, I have like a couple, like very rarely, that I know of at least.
Yeah.
I think like once or twice that I actually know of.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who knows otherwise?
Right.
But
Right.
that's what like someone else needs to tell us like how stress
Right.
related mental
Well,
disorder
my
that I
dad,
have or
my
something.
dad sleepwalks a
Yeah.
lot, so I know he's gonna be watching too. So,
There you go.
and it tends to happen like with him. He's a farmer, so like it happens with him like during like harvest and stuff when he's really tired and really stressed.
Yeah,
Is that when it tends to happen? Like,
I'm sure
So
that.
does he make it out of the room, or does he kind of like? Do you know? Like,
Yeah, he's like made it out of the room and he like
Yeah.
goes down the stairs and stuff. He like
Isn't
yeah.
that so crazy?
Yeah.
Because you think they would just like eat shit down the stairs because you're
Right,
just like.
right.
But you
out
are
of-
lucid. Like that's
Right, I
I can
know, it's
describe. Like I
right.
can see the bed and I can see everything. It's perfect analogy with that. If you've ever played Pokemon Go or any of the VR where you are looking at your setting, but then there's something added to the setting. Is
It's
what I
so
is what I
crazy.
see.
Right.
But I assume if you don't see stuff added, you're still seeing your surroundings. So it's just like you're walking down the stairs like normally.
Yeah.
You know. So
Huh.
I don't know.
So
But
crazy.
yeah, I had that dream last night, and I popped up over the foot of the bed, turned around, and I was like, aha,
So-
I escaped again, sucker.
Maybe you did it when I was coaching.
I think you
Maybe
were
I was there.
I think it was before I do it.
Okay.
That was Ivy that was
Oh
on,
yeah, she goes haywire on that.
on that door.
But yeah, and then we had our coaches outing this last weekend.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was
Oh, yeah.
fun.
Yeah,
That's fun.
thank you for everyone that
Yes,
joined us
that was
afterwards.
awesome.
Thank you for everybody that joined us on Instagram and saw our stories. We still need to figure out a tiebreaker between Team
Oh, that's
Win
right,
and
yeah.
Team. What was your team? Ball.
Beers and Balls.
Beers and
Yeah.
balls. Yeah. So we have
That was
to
fun.
come up with a tiebreaker.
Honestly, we got to the first hole. I'm like, this is gonna be the longest.
No,
Not that
had
it
a
was like I
blast,
didn't like being
yeah.
around you guys. It was just
Right.
like nobody knows what they're doing. This is gonna be the longest outing
we started
ever.
5 minutes late. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. No, it was
But
super
it was
fun. I had a
fun.
blast.
We already
yeah.
were to the 8th hole. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could keep going, but
9 holes is fast.
perfect. And that golf course was great for that,
Yeah.
I think. So
Sugar Creek. It was good. So if you haven't been to Sugar Creek, West Waukee, it's a good time.
hopefully you guys saw Zach shotgun his beer.
Hopefully you didn't.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
That was good. I still have the record for beer shotgunning beers, I think.
Yeah.
Did anybody beat me?
I don't think so. No.
Yes.
Not everybody did
Zach
it.
almost did the second time. No,
Not
you
everybody-
got 6 seconds. You're like 5.
Five.
Zach was
Yeah,
like,
I was like fucking like 100 seconds or something like that. Like,
Yeah. That's good. It was just 5 seconds multiple times.
exactly.
yeah,
That's good.
perfect.
Well, like I
Just
said,
like
I mean, I was trying to. I've just what I've been telling everybody. In my old age now, I'm 25. I haven't shotgunned a beer for probably like 4 years. So I was going to do a practice one first, and so I'm opening up for a practice round, and all of a sudden, like off camera, and then all of a sudden the camera's like right in my face from Amber. So I started laughing, and then I couldn't swallow the beer, so it was like just like expanding in my mouth, and all of a sudden like it just shot right out my nose. It was just a
we
whole
noticed.
shit show.
That might be the cover. That might be a video clip.
That could be, yeah. That could be the thumbnail.
Get to know Zach.
Yeah.
For this.
So
Beer shooting at my nose.
So we, Amber and I like to keep fresh, and every once in a while, if we have like some of our friends will come over and we'll just randomly be like, let's go out in the great garage and shotgun a beer.
Well,
And
props
like
to you
all
guys.
five
Yeah,
of
good
us
for
will
you
go,
guys.
or all four of us, 5, 6 of us will go out and
Mhm.
shotgun a beer quick, and then come back inside and we're like, yeah, okay, we're just staying up to practice.
Yep.
Well, I haven't been doing that. I didn't know it was going to come. I have not been doing that. So.
Right? Now's the time.
Now I will start
Yep.
practicing.
Fit that bad boy in your
Yeah.
macros once a day.
Once a day.
Once a day. You'll get real good at it. Takes practice. Everything takes practice. If your goal in life is to be better at shotgunning,
Well, that is
you
true.
need to
That's
shotgun
absolutely
a
true.
beer faster.
That's absolutely- You need to
Maybe
train.
work on
you
it
need
for
to
the next
train for
coach's
it.
I believe it's called the principle of specificity, actually.
There you go. You need to train for the specific event.
Right.
I love
Okay,
it.
let's start. You're starting today.
I'll start
I'll
up.
have Haley start with you.
I'll start
Game's
up.
on. That's awesome.
All right. So for those of
Side note, I have everything almost. I think everything is set up in the new studio. All we have to do is bring these chairs over there and have internet, and we're about ready to move. So anybody from Google Fiber listening that wants to just get that up and running, it's been installed for like 2 months now and has not actually activated yet. So I need to wait till it activates.
and they're coming
we're
out to
good.
activate it or what? Or how does that work?
I think we just wait for Google to. It says it's not available yet on their website. So I don't know what. They said sometime in July though.
Okay, cool.
So we'll see. So the new studio is almost
This
ready
could
to
be one of our
roll.
last times in the gym closet.
You never know. Yes.
Or we could be here 5 more times. You just
Sure.
never
Or we
know.
could be here 5 more years
Yeah.
with this is going. So
Also true.
yeah, yeah,
So we just never
for
know.
sure.
All right. So Coach Zach, I think
Yeah.
you're the OG.
I think so.
I think you are.
I feel pretty
We
old.
What about-
appreciate
what
you
about
so
Alicia?
much. I don't think so. I think you.
Oh, I've been
started-
here way longer than
Yeah.
Alicia.
Have you?
Yeah.
Like a
Oh,
year,
God,
maybe
yeah.
year 2.
Yeah. Well, what's Alicia's probably been here? I've been here for 3 years.
See,
now.
Alicia, like you're
think
more
she's
full time,
2.
like in it, and
yeah.
Alicia's kind of like when school comes around, she kind
Yeah.
of fades out.
I
So
think
I don't know.
Alicia's
I'd
been
be
here for like
interested
2
to see.
years. Because I think I
think
remember
she's
when
been
I
here
remember when she
maybe 2.5 years.
Yeah, cause I remember I remember her being here. Or
And I
I
guess-
remember her shadowing after I'd been here for a little
Because
while.
I guess
Okay,
sometimes
yeah.
we think of Zach being here when he was like full time, but we don't think about
That's
like the
true.
part
He was-
time day.
that-
Like you know
yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
true.
And that
That's
has
true.
like on a year
Yeah,
or 2.
that's true.
there,
It's been like
too,
it was like a
so.
year and a half of being part time and like now like
Dan's gonna kind
A
of
little
turn into
over.
that same thing, I think.
I know,
'cause
yeah.
Yeah.
You were a year before you were full time, right?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm in my mind as next year I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, you've been here for a little over a year, right?
Well, it is
Like,
very
oh,
different
yeah,
too.
no shit,
Like
not there yet.
it's
Yeah.
been different in the sense of like, yeah. Well, most of like the part time coaches are just coaching sessions,
Right.
you know, and not necessarily doing a lot of like the managerial stuff,
Yeah.
obviously. So
Right.
it is different, obviously. But yeah.
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 But-
No, but thank you for all you do. We are very, very thankful for you, and we're excited for
Absolutely.
this interview to get to know you a little bit more because people know you when they come in for a session and talk to you for about 5 minutes, but it's always good to dive into the coach's life and
Right.
get to know him a little bit more. So now they can give you even more.
So yeah. So first question I think
Right.
is how did you become so good at shotgunning?
That I can't even say that answer honestly. You know, that would be a secret that
Like
I can't
an
give
honest
out.
answer?
Right?
Or-
Yeah.
All right, so we're just going to start with a couple questions from the athletes, and then we might have a couple for you too. So the first one is, would you rather wake up tomorrow having lost all memories from the last 365 days, or wake up tomorrow and it's 365 days in the future?
See, this is good because I forgot all these questions and I forgot all my answers already from last time we tried to do this. So, okay, wake up
Tomorrow morning, having lost all memories in the last year,
or wake up 365 days in the future.
and not know what
And,
those,
okay,
those
yes.
are going to
Oh,
be,
yeah,
but
yep,
you're going
Yes.
to wake
yeah,
up
okay,
I
yeah.
remember this. Yeah.
I remember this now.
in
Yeah,
a
so
year.
I would say, and the way that I'm like viewing this is that I would wake up in a year, and I would still have like done things in my life, and I would just not like be aware of them, and all of a sudden I'd be awake and conscious of what I did in the last year. So I would go that route. If I was like gonna say that like I was like in a coma for the next year, and I would just like wake up and like nothing would have happened
Like
to
you
me
wanna
at that
grow or
point,
advance,
then
yes.
I would have to second guess that maybe. But I would say I would rather wake up in a year not knowing what I've done and then be there. Yeah.
So memory loss, is that what?
Yes.
What was the question? How was that stated?
Would you rather wake up tomorrow having lost all memories from the last year?
From the last year or the
Wake
next
up
year?
tomorrow and it's
Okay,
365 days.
So you're future. You're a future.
I would rather wake up 365 days in the future.
So you would rather lose your memory for the next 365 days,
Yes.
but still do shit.
But still do things. Yeah. Yes.
Oh, but then what if it is short-term memory loss that actually affects what you're doing? Like on that, is it Adam Sandler movie? Yeah, 50 First Dates. You know how that affects her?
yeah.
Oh,
How
yeah.
that affects her life? That would be interesting.
No, we can't go into that, I don't think. We just
I
gotta
don't know
answer
either.
the question. He answered it already.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like to stretch.
We're up
these
to a much
questions.
worse start this time.
Right,
than
I
we
like
were
to
last
stretch.
time.
I like to stretch these questions.
Or
so
it
that
could be like
they-
the other Adam Sandler movie with Click and be the
Oh,
future.
yeah.
In the future, yeah.
Yeah.
So he has that. That's when he has the remote.
Yeah,
and he
has
can
the
pause
remote.
time, fast forward. And he starts fast forwarding time
He's
because
too
he's
far ahead.
yeah. Because
Right.
well, and then so then he wants that raise or whatever, his job promotion, and so he fast forwards through things to get that, but then realizes that like all of that shit that he fast forwarded through he missed.
Right.
So that would be
He's some
sad.
good movies. Hustler. Have you guys seen Hustler?
I have
Or
Or
not
Hustle?
been.
Is it
Hustle.
Hustle?
Hustle. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
it looks like it's a good one.
It's a good one. Me and
Yeah.
Porter watched it, and Porter is going to absolutely love basketball. He should not take his eyes
He
off
does
of the
love
basketball shit. It's crazy. Anyway.
So funny. Okay. This is a good one.
'Kay.
If you were stuck on an island
Jerry.
with all, oh my god.
No, we have
you
to-
gotta let me
we have to
finish.
Can't finish
do
the
it.
question. Yeah, I already know it though.
If you were stuck on an island with only one Krave coach, who would it be? Amber. I already know.
No, it'd be Jerry. It's like, okay, so again, I'll take everybody through my thought process looking back at this one. So originally, when I saw this question pop up, because I saw the Facebook one. So originally when I saw this one, I thought Tyler, because Tyler's pretty handy. He's like building the retaining wall right now and all that shit.
I've been watching Alone too, so
that might not
I know
be
how to
very
build
well, yeah.
a log cabin
Like
now.
yeah,
so
perfect.
okay.
So like originally I thought Tyler for like handiness purposes, you know. And then I got to thinking, I'm like, I wouldn't, not that I don't think that Tyler could protect me from like, from like a native tribe or like predators or something like that. But like, if Jerry was around, like, who would dare try to
Nobody's
to
fucking with Jerry.
No, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Not after he drove that ball 800 yards.
Right. But then you also have to think too, like we brought up, is this a deserted island where you have to survive?
Right. Or like a party.
is this a party island?
Right.
Because then I think all of us are taking Amber.
I think everybody would take Amber because
Because
Amber,
I'm the fun one. Of
Amber
the
force
guys.
feeds alcohol to everybody.
Yes, she makes you.
As
party.
evidenced by Saturday.
I mean,
She makes you party.
you guys can say no. You guys.
I don't
can
know.
say
I don't know
no.
if it's even necessarily true.
I just want everybody to have a good time.
Yeah, so I think Amber would be the party island person and
The fun one.
the all-inclusive island trip to
Yeah.
stay.
Yeah, deserted, a dangerous island. I would take Jerry.
Yep.
Like a
Alright.
party island. I would take Amber. Yeah.
Perfect. I'm glad I'm in there. I'm glad
Yeah.
I made my way
Yeah.
somehow. That
Yeah.
just makes me feel so much better. So much better. Okay, favorite karaoke song?
I don't do karaoke.
Well, how about this? The song you just blast in the car and you sing. Like none of that headbanging shit, right? Like that.
No,
Tanner,
only that.
Tanner will
actually,
pull
yeah.
up in the morning, and I'm like, it's blaring, and it's
Yeah, that's
just
what
like the heavy death metal. I'm like,
That's what
it's
I.
5:45 in the morning, and
No,
you
I
just get
listen
your
to,
day started.
That's
with
because
that.
that's the only way to
That's the only way you
get
can
up.
wake up. Why would you not do
Shaking
it at
yourself
5:45 in the morning? Yeah. So no, I like rock and like punk rock. People in the gym love my playlist.
Mhm.
Amber doesn't.
There's a select few that
obviously,
don't.
but
Do you
There's
like?
a very select few that don't.
Okay, do you like Machine Gun Kelly in
No.
his new punk rock role?
Not really. No.
No, okay.
I mean, it's fine.
Because that's like the only
But-
punk rock that I really know that's like new, right?
Yeah, it's like it's kind of coming back, ish. Maybe.
Well, I assume like if he made like he's
Yeah.
kind of brought it back to at least the mainstream.
Yeah, but more
right?
into like the mainstream. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I think it's kind of coming back
Is
into the
NF
mainstream.
Punk rock too, or no? Or
He
is
has
NF
some songs that like NF, Tom McDonald. They have like one or two songs that have like the instrumental background where you
Right.
could say, but they're just rap. They're rappers.
They're just rapping
How about
over like a.
who's Kourtney Kardashian. Travis Barker. What
Travis.
is he like? Is he kind of punk rock?
Well, he was the drummer for like Blink-182.
Blink-182.
Yeah.
And Blink-182 is like
Blink-182
the
is like
definition of
punk rock, like they
Yeah.
are like punk, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would say yeah, that was kind of
Yeah.
but like it's like he's kind of in a weird spot right now where like he's just like featuring on like everybody's
Yeah.
shit
So-
now.
So he was like
he's just-
another one that kind of is a Yellow Wolf is kind of on the fence, half
yeah.
rock music. Like he raps over half rock music and then kind of rap too. So he's kind of an interesting one too.
Yeah. There's a lot of people out there that kind of like crossover-ish.
But last-
type of-
So
Last
who's your
time we-
favorite band? Do you have like a favorite new artist right now, or like popular artist right now? Even
not
if it's
really
in that
no, like, I
genre?
don't even necessarily like. I don't know. I don't have.
What's
like,
your
a
favorite artist overall, or your
Who would
favorite
you love to
band
see in concert?
overall?
I don't know. I don't have like a favorite artist. Like for
Do you like country?
Okay,
I like country.
Okay,
I like rock.
here I'll reframe the question.
Okay.
What is the artist or band that you listen to the most of their songs most frequently?
System of a Down, just mostly for workouts.
Nice. Okay.
But also just like I'm like trying to just like
Because that's not
Get
when you
super
want to go
jacked
see
in
a
the car,
concert,
too.
though.
I
Fuck
mean,
the System of a Down hard.
The
only reason I wouldn't-
they're super good. I don't know if I go see them in a concert just because I'd be scared
they're
of
fans.
what would happen to
Yes.
me there. Like I would feel like I could easily
Like a mosh
get.
pit?
I
Yeah.
feel like I would get killed or drugged or something crazy would happen to me.
They're a very interesting like political.
They're very,
kind of
like-
anti-government.
They're like
type of-
they're like radicalists
Yeah.
basically from like Armenia or something.
Yeah.
So
Oh, shit. Yeah, you better not go to that.
most of like their songs are
somewhere in the Middle
are
East. Yeah.
pretty.
So probably
nuts.
just Walker Hayes would be your one that you
Absolutely not.
But you got to remember, like a concert, there's many artists that go on a concert.
True.
So you have the openers, you have the mains.
That's true, too, yeah.
So like, what would be your lineup?
Oh my god. See,
Oh,
I couldn't even pick one.
I like it.
I literally couldn't even pick one. Now I have to pick a whole.
Now you
freaking
get
lineup.
variety, so maybe
Yeah.
that's better. You get like 3 different ones.
God, I don't know. I don't know.
And did you say on this last interview you don't even listen to music in the car? Like, were you just bullshitting us?
No. Okay. Well, I don't know if I had that. So my aux cord in
think
my
he said
car.
Oh, I thought he said that he didn't
No.
listen to. Maybe you just.
No, I love music. Like I really like music, but I don't have like necessarily a favorite band or like I would say like rock or country are my favorites.
So you're a playlist guy.
Yeah.
You go to Spotify and stream a playlist,
Yeah,
like a
That-
rock playlist.
like I have my own playlist.
Right. But how do you get that music?
With I have
Without
200
noticing
I have
artists?
200 songs that are by 200 different artists
But if you don't know artists, then how do you pull those songs?
because I like.
Because he goes to Amber Summer 2021
No, I do not.
playlist and gets songs.
It's
from
not
there.
bad. It's not a bad. Amber Summer 2021 place is not bad.
He's like, we need to change the year on this. I'm like,
But I am. It's like okay. It's almost fall 2022, and this is
See,
the
that's
this
what
is the
confuses me
updated
because
one,
remember the other day I said 2021 and you guys are like, actually it's 2022. So that's
Yeah.
what made me.
Yeah.
Did you make a new playlist? Or are you adding to that playlist?
No,
I
she just
just
still.
keep adding.
She just added to 2021 still.
It'll be there forever.
Just continues.
So now you just got to put a dash 2022.
Right.
I might.
Okay.
Right. So
Okay, well-
all rock and country artists are my favorite.
So he'd want a concert with
Over-encompassing.
all that.
Yeah, I would.
Garth Brooks opens
No, yeah, I would say,
for
like-
Yeah.
Blink 182
And then System of a Down.
System of a Down.
I would totally go to that. Yeah.
If,
Wait,
if
but-
those three
I would totally
were in
go
a
to that
concert
concert,
together,
yeah.
I would go as well.
I would completely go to that
Yeah.
concert for sure.
That would be so dope.
Cause yeah, like for country, I like more of like the old country. Like I like Garth Brooks and George Strait. So like my playlists are a little weird because I do have like those,
Right.
and then it's like
Bummer.
heavy metal.
Hey, how's it going? Oh, yeah, of course.
We just went to a Garth Brooks concert.
I saw that. Yeah.
Holy shit, the guy can move for like being. Because
Yeah.
we were like, how old is he? He's probably like 65.
Right.
He can move. It was a
Yeah.
pretty good concert.
We're just kind of vamping right now because Tyler's out spotting somebody in the gym.
How did people know we're in here? Was
I
that,
don't even
like,
know. Are we that loud?
Anyways, all right, we'll
Do
go
you-
to the next question.
Oh, do you not want to know about where I went to college and stuff? You don't want to know.
we do.
about
We'll
that?
get to that.
Oh, okay.
We just
This is the fun stuff. I thought we were gonna save the fun stuff till the end. Everyone's gonna be bored by my life
no,
story.
we're not. We're not going to be bored.
Everyone's gonna enjoy the first part, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh man, that's just Zach's life story."
No, they'll love it. They'll love it. We got to save that for last so they stay on for longer.
Okay, that's true.
That
Yes,
is
they
the
can get
goal
through
of
this
this.
part, yeah.
We're going to try to flip some things around.
All right.
Okay, so be honest. Have you ever even tried a regular coffee?
I don't think so. No. Well,
Because he gets the foo-foo drinks when he goes to Starbucks. Tell him your order.
yes, I get
I love the word foo-foo.
Yeah, I don't really like that word. It's kind of hurtful.
Well, you already know.
I get. Well, lately I've been getting the caramel ribbon crunch frappuccino. I don't actually go to Starbucks as much as I used to. I used to go.
How many calories?
Which is
is
definitely a
that thing?
foo-foo.
Yeah, it's like 500 calories. It's fine. You know what? It fits into that macros though. I'm just
Is it
smart about
protein?
it,
You
so.
should just take some mocha protein.
Yeah, I'm
so
like,
they
can
add that
you
in.
also put the whey protein in the back in there too? Can you toss some whey protein in that?
That would be awesome.
I used to probably go like a couple times a week. Now it's like
Leave a little bit of
once.
room.
Now it's like once every
for my
couple weeks
proteins.
I'll go. I don't really go to Starbucks that much anymore. Usually I get the Java chip frappuccino, extra syrup, extra frap chips or whatever it's called.
Are you
extra-
just like
That is a
shaking when you're?
dessert.
No, it is a dessert. It's
Oh, the
dessert.
Then
sugar.
how does
Just
the
the
crash feel? Because you got it like
Yeah.
spiked.
I don't
and then-
feel a thing actually, and
That's
it's mostly
fresh.
because I drink a bang usually too. So like honestly, like even like this is where it's bad. Is like if I drink a bang now, I don't know that I really feel it that much anymore. It's like 400 milligrams of caffeine, and I don't know necessarily because what I've started noticing is like in the morning. Like usually I'll have one like when I coach like a 5 a.m. session. I don't know if it's like the fact that I'm so used to having that same routine now every single time that I do it, that like I wake up tired and then I start drinking my energy drink on the way in, and like by the time I get in there now I'm
Right.
feeling like not like wide or anything, but like good.
Good. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so I don't know if it's maybe that's the same routine that I have, but like I don't necessarily know that I really feel like 400 milligrams of caffeine, you know what I mean?
It's
So-
interesting you say that because like that's how I feel about coffee in the morning. Like I'll go to the coffee pot,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it's just like
Just
going
the
there,
routine
the
of
taste
doing
of it,
it,
yes,
and then
like
you kind of
just-
like get into like a zone of like.
then I'm like, okay, now I can
Yeah.
wake up a little
I
bit.
know
Do
the
you do that-
athletes.
do
The
you do
athletes
that
at
daily,
5 a.m. No, I only usually I drink one like when I coach the morning sessions, and then sometimes other times if I want to have a little treat, you know.
I just can't imagine waking up being like, oh, I just can't wait to drink a bang right now.
Oh, I do. I literally like wake up and roll out of bed, and I'm actually excited to start drinking it because I think
That
it tastes
is
good too.
Great.
Like I think like the
I
cotton
think they
candy
taste
one,
great, but not at
super good.
4:45 in the morning. It's just weird.
I don't
just
know.
can't get
I
it.
actually like roll out of bed and I'm like excited to go
Yeah.
get my bang and start drinking it. Like I'm actually enjoy
That's
it.
gonna be part of your dream next, like
It probably will
waking
be
up,
waking up and like just like
going down the stairs.
wired up. But I'll have to ask the athletes at 5 a.m. like if they feel like I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty high energy in the mornings probably more than most people, I guess.
Yeah.
But
You should do Monster and you could drink 2 for that same.
No, but then you spend more money.
That's true.
yeah, I don't know. Plus, I just like bang better.
But
I
you
like
need
the
to
taste of
enjoy
bang
twice.
better. Oh, that's also true though.
I had a bang last week. Holy shit!
You
I was
did?
in the office like.
I
let's
saw that.
go.
Yeah, I was like, Amber, is this you? I'm like,
Yeah,
this
I
isn't Jake.
Yeah, I had to. I was dying that day. I'm like, I need some energy.
Yeah.
They feel
It'll get
good
ya.
though when you don't drink them for a while and you take
I've
them.
never had one.
Really?
I don't
It's
wanna
a
go
good-
into,
You
like,
should
have one,
experience.
yeah.
You
I don't
should.
know.
You
You
feel
should.
good. Like it's pretty smooth.
You feel
it's not
refreshed. You feel like you just
It's-
took a nice
Because these don't really
midday
do much
nap.
for me. Like you said, I don't know if it's just the.
Yeah,
It's also only 170.
yeah. Bang
Yeah.
is like I don't know how much. I don't know that it's 400, but it's pretty
I
close.
think it's 360.
360 or something like
You,
that.
it's
Like
good. If you're ever, if
All right,
there's
let's
ever a
have
day
to
you're
be
dragging
working on
ass,
it.
just
Do
go
it. You
get
should.
one.
Yeah.
And the flavors
And
are
then
good,
live
they
stream
are.
it too, and then get on Instagram too.
Live stream your jitters.
yeah.
So what keeps you motivated as an athlete?
Yes, this was one that I was thinking of that I had to like have a good answer for. So, motivation wise,
See, now you're way too prepared for
I
this.
am. I see. I'm
Darn
super
it. Way
no,
too.
I'm really not because I forgot about all of this actually. So, motivation wise, I would say a couple things. So I've always been pretty competitive, so I think that's one thing. And like whether it's competing with other people, so like that's one of the reasons that I love the sessions. Is like I love, you know, as good or bad as this may be, I love looking over like the person next to me, and if it's like a guy that's kind of like similar strength to me, like seeing what they have and like adding an extra 5 pounds on there, or like doing stuff like that, and like trying to just push that little bit extra farther, or competing with myself too, and just trying to be the best that I can be. That's always been kind of motivating for me, and then I think also just setting a good example for our athletes too. I think one of the things that bothers me, I think, in this industry is a lot of people don't really practice what they preach necessarily, and it's a lot of people that do things a certain way, and then for financial purposes, they're advertising that they that you should do things this other way, or whatever it may be. So I really, I'm a believer that you should really practice what you preach. And if if I'm going to be telling, if we have 250 athletes in Waukee, and I'm telling 250 people to live their life in a certain way, and I'm not doing that, that's kind of shitty of me, I think, too.
Unless you
know what I
tear your
mean?
pec.
So if I turn my pec from
then you're out
being too strong, actually, is why. So.
I love
For
that.
being the Hulk.
Yeah, but you know what? I was trying to do a 1 rep max, and I tell people not to do that. So look what happens when you don't practice what you preach.
Yeah, I know.
That's true.
Bad
Should've
things
done
happen.
a
Yeah, should
three
have
reps.
That
done
day,
3 reps.
at
Yeah.
first I'm like, okay, this isn't a serious injury, is it? And then you went outside and you're laying down. I'm like,
When I was
this
laying,
is bad.
I was
This
laying
is
on the
bad.
ground, like
yeah,
trying to pass out. Yeah, that was
not good.
that was fun.
Feels like that just happened, honestly. But how long ago
I do
was
too.
it?
It
8
was in
months?
November, so it's been 8 months. So yeah,
It's crazy.
yep.
Crazy.
It's been not
No,
fun.
it is, and I think it's different. Like, it's the discipline that comes with, and we're in this industry, right? We're in this environment, which helps us stay disciplined and active and motivated.
Right.
I mean, I find that huge because if I worked in an office and I was gone all day and I had to go to the gym, I might not have the motivation. But when you see other athletes here that like your PT client that has had a heck of a time, like he got in that accident, but he's moving his body and he's finding ways to stay, like that's so inspiring to me, and it makes me want to live my life
Totally,
to
yeah.
the
Yeah.
fullest potential and stuff like
That's
that.
kind of-
so it's
Yeah, that's kind of
I
what I
just-
think too. Is like the motivation aspect is definitely one thing, and I feel motivated a lot of the times, and I think I mentioned it last time too, I guess. But like I truly do enjoy working out. Like there's some people, believe it or not, that like actually do just enjoy being active and working out, and I'm fortunate enough to be one of those people. But even with that though, there's not like I don't wake up every day super motivated to be active that day, or like if I know I'm going to be doing squats today and I hate squats and I don't want to do squats, but you have to be disciplined enough to do that as well. So like I feel motivated a lot of the times, but nobody's motivated every day. So a lot of that comes from like that discipline talk that we had. It's been a long time, I think, on the podcast. But having the difference between the discipline and the motivation, and taking advantage of your motivation while you have it, but also being disciplined enough to still do those things even when you don't have the motivation to do it.
Right.
So
and even the mental component side of it. It's like
Yeah.
after a workout, I just feel so much better.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
just
yeah.
such good stress
Yeah.
relief and just a relief of life. So
Yeah.
it's interesting how that mindset
Yeah.
comes into play too.
Definitely.
Okay, so tell us.
is that all my questions? Nobody asked
Well,
any extra
let me-
questions.
I don't think so. I
Dang.
think that was it.
We got a question from
I was lied to.
one of the athletes that does PT.
Oh,
When are
no.
you going to cut your hair?
Who asked that?
Oh.
Never cut my
Hey,
hair.
you didn't ask on any of these. Who asked it? So obviously we're not going to
Yeah,
tell
that's
you.
fair, yeah.
So
I've been keeping it. This is shorter than I used to have it. Like anybody that was
I was
here.
gonna say you just got a cut. Not
Yeah,
too long.
I have a strict regimen of every 6 weeks. I get my hair trimmed lightly, like a light trim. But yeah, like for people that were here, like when I started like 3 years ago, well, I think it was like during COVID is when it was the longest that it ever was. Like my engagement pictures, like it was like down like by my shoulders, if not even a little bit farther than that. So like what it is now is actually very tame compared to what it has been the last few years. So
it's funny because before you were here, we did a craving on what kind
oh
of
my
haircut
god,
Zach
yeah, I
should
forgot
get.
about that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I put his head with like different
And
hairstyles.
Photoshopped
Like
his.
Very questionable photoshopping of my different hairstyles. Yeah.
That picture
was-
still has to be there. I bet,
It's
somewhere.
Oh, it's gotta be there
there
somewhere. I think I had like
it
the.
was hilarious.
I think I had like the quintessential like Karen haircut is like
Yeah.
what I ended up
That was the
ended
one.
winning, like spiked over
They
to the
liked
side.
it. They liked that one. We had like did we have a mullet on? We had some fun ones.
There was
so
some
we
good
had some
ones,
ones
yeah.
that were like actually pretty good.
There were some good ones.
that that was awesome.
You know, the mullet's back in.
The mullet's
It
coming back in
is.
style. I've heard. I would like to.
It is big time.
I would
so
like
you
to.
probably never will. Like you just like your hair that length, and Haley likes
I like it.
too.
Yeah, I like
What's
it the way that it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of. Oh, and that's kind of the other thing. Actually, is like there's a lot of times that like I'm like it would really be less work to just like. Cause I used to have a buzz cut like all the way from basically from middle school to my senior year of college. I had a buzz cut. And the way that my hair actually grew out in the first place is that my mom would give me a buzz cut every time I was home, And there was a time, like my senior year, that it was just such a long time between me going home that like my hair kind of made it through like the awkward in between stages between like having a buzz cut and like actually having hair again. So eventually I got to a point where like I literally went like 14 or 16 months without getting a haircut. So I went from a buzz cut to like no haircut for like 16 months.
Nice.
And then I started trimming it and kind of keeping up with it. But yeah, that's how it all started actually.
Because even as a woman, like growing my hair up when it's like this short to like long, it's annoying. So I can't even imagine going from a buzz cut to try to figure out how to style it.
Yeah,
or,
well,
like,
I didn't figure out how to style it. I just I just
Put
do my
the hat
thing.
on.
Yeah, I just put a hat on. That's why people ask
oh my
me,
gosh.
like, probably most Krave athletes have never seen me without a hat on, honestly, because I wear a hat every day.
But
It's
I mean,
a lot.
to high school, you can wear a hat, right?
Well, no, but I had a buzz cut in high school.
But then you let it grow when? College?
My senior year of
Senior
college,
year of
yeah.
Oh, okay. So I
Yeah.
guess you could wear hats.
Yeah, college,
Like,
you can do whatever you
yeah,
want in
you can
college,
wear- okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Too funny.
yeah.
No,
So that's how that all came
it's-
about, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good question.
That is
like
a good
it.
question.
I
Whoever
like
asked
it.
that. Thank you, yeah.
Okay, so fill us in on your life. So, you know, where you grew
Okay.
up and how you got to Krave.
Okay, so I grew up in Latimer, Iowa, so in north central Iowa, kind of south of Mason City, for anybody that knows where that is. I grew up playing a lot of sports, so I went to a really small school. My high school was about 60 to 65 people each year, so I graduated with 18 kids in my class. So with that, I got a lot of cool opportunities to do a lot of stuff and play a lot of different sports. So I played baseball, football, I ran track, I played soccer, I played golf for a year. That's why I was so good this weekend. And
Hey, I never
You played
knew
high
this.
school golf?
for a year, my freshman year, I did. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, because they just needed another guy.
See,
and I
you
was
know
like,
what was
yeah.
going on a little bit.
I mean, yeah, I understand like what golf is. You know, like I know the objectives. I know like.
At least you didn't
How to
almost
score.
hit all of us like Dan.
Me?
Was that
No,
one
it was
on
Zach.
off a tee? Was
No,
it you?
that was Zach.
It probably
that
was
was
me.
that?
I didn't say I was
Oh,
good.
maybe
We were
Zach.
over up on the top, and your guys'
We
tee
were on the
box was like
green.
here.
I mean,
and I'm like,
I'll
what are you
take the
doing over here? And
distance.
they're like, we're looking for Zach's ball. I'm like, you guys
Oh,
almost hit
Zach's-
us this way when the
Yeah,
hole
that
was
was
like
me.
that way.
Okay.
It was like hole 7 or something.
Yeah, that was me. It's called a slice.
Okay,
If you wanna
I
get
thought
technical with it.
I brought that live moment to a video that I saw later playing back, and
Oh.
I thought Dan hit it because I saw Dan tee off of that same hole.
Oh, the one that
Yeah.
you saw was that one. That one went even farther to the right. I
Yeah,
think.
that was, yeah.
Oh, really?
I mean, like I said, I'll take the distance on that ball. Like, I'll take credit for that.
And is that the hole that we kept hitting the ball at your guys' golf cart?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
the hole.
Like,
Our,
all
our
of
first,
balls-
our first like 7 holes. We were very professional and serious. Our first 7 holes. The last 2 holes was just an absolute.
For the
shit
record,
show.
though, your golf cart was right next to what? The green.
The green.
Yes, so that's why I hit
Because-
your golf cart.
Because we were trying to play and you guys were catching up to us. So
Okay,
Yeah.
so
So,
back
yeah,
to your story.
so,
You played golf in high school.
I tried to play golf in high school. So yeah, I did all those sports. And yeah, it was super cool to be in a small school and have the opportunities to.
So how many schools or towns around went to your school?
So it's 3. So it's Coulter,
That's
Alexander,
crazy.
Latimer. So
Okay.
my school was Cal Latimer. If anyone has ever
Cal.
heard of that. So Latimer is like the quote big town with like 500 people.
Okay.
I lived closer to Alexander, which is like 100 people or so. Kind of in between. So I lived out in the country. So got to do a lot of cool stuff there, and I really liked that. I went to Wartburg for my first 2 years. I met my wife Haley, and then I transferred to UNI for my last 2 years, and I did kinesiology, exercise science there. So I really liked that. They have an awesome program there. It was really science based, which was super cool, and that was kind of what I was
And
looking
hands-on,
for.
right?
Very
You had a lot of
hands-on,
hands-on
very.
experience there.
They have, labs. I took, I got to have like 4 different classes that we were actually like in a lab and like doing experiments. And so that was super cool because I love science. And that was kind of what I was looking for. So to be able to do that kind of stuff was really neat. Like one of my professors was like a sports scientist at Texas A&M for a couple years. Like he worked with like Johnny Manziel and Myles Garrett and those guys when they were there. So it was super cool, and to have professors like that with that kind of. One of my professors is actually the pitching coach at Iowa now, so that's pretty cool. Yeah,
Yes,
so he's doing an awesome job out there right now. So But yeah, anyways, so I got to do that, and that was really neat. When I was there, when I was at UNI, they had a personal training course that people could get into. So they came around to a lot of the exercise science kids.
Not a lot of people could get into it.
Well, yeah,
Just
not
gonna
everyone.
throw it out
Not
there.
everyone
Not
could do it. Not
everybody
everybody
could
got
make
in.
it.
So, but yeah, so they came around, and a lot of some of the exercise science kids. I think there ended up being like 20 of us in my class that did it, and went through the personal training, and we actually went through the ACE certification and went through all that and got kind of to dive in that for a semester. At the end of that, they put us through like a test and a practicum and a whole bunch of stuff. And they hired a few of us to actually be personal trainers on staff at the rec center on campus. So I got fortunate enough to do that, and I got my professional certification from there and all that fun stuff. So I actually had like a year and a half or 3 semesters, I guess, of personal training experience when I was still in college, which I thought was really, really neat to be able to actually like have that professional experience, and that definitely made my transition easier when I started in the professional world, knowing that okay, I've done this for a year and a half, and I've had 8 personal training clients over the last year and a half that I've worked with. It made it a lot easier, and I was a lot more comfortable starting out than maybe if I hadn't. So that was
I
that
like
was
the
really
idea of
nice,
like studying the ACE and using it right away,
Right.
because I feel like you just gain so much more knowledge
That's what I
rather than just
loved.
sitting down and reading a book. It's like, okay,
Right.
I have to finish this before I go take my test, and then it's like, but if you can read a chapter or a couple and then apply it to how you're going to use it,
And
I
that
think
was
that
what
is
I really
so
liked,
beneficial.
because I think most people learn best when you're able to actually apply the things that you're
Right
learning.
away,
So
yes.
like rather than sitting there and memorizing a bunch of stuff in a book to take a test and then take that test and then ditch it all and go do whatever, to be able to actually take 4 months and dig into it, and while I'm doing that, actually like put that into practice
Yeah, that's
was really neat. So I really enjoyed that. Yeah. So I went to UNI and I graduated there 2019, and then it was kind of coming down to the wire, and I was it was like April or May of 2019, and I was about to graduate. And I knew that, so my wife Haley is a year older than me, so she's from West Des Moines originally. So I knew
She's
that we
a
were going to end up.
cougar.
She is, yeah. She's old. She's super old, and she's old for her grade, and I'm young for my grade.
Oh,
so
so
it's
she
like a
really
year.
is.
It's like a year and a half of a
Dang.
difference. Yeah, so she's old. Yeah, so
Haley.
I know. But yeah, so she's from here, so she'd been moving. So she'd lived down here for about a year, and she had started her career and everything like that. So I knew I was going to be down here somewhere, so I was kind of looking at different places around here. And I won't name names, but people didn't hire me. That's whatever. I'm not.
Well,
bitter
funny
about
story.
it.
Haley's parents used to go to Krave.
Yeah.
So he knew about it, like back
Yeah.
in the day, like they would just probably say things about
Yeah,
it, like
yeah.
complain or say
They
how
said-
much they love the
They said
workouts,
shitty
right?
things about Krave for years, and they were like, "God, it just sucks there." And,
And
I
then
hated
Haley's
Tyler
like,
and
"Well, maybe
Amber.
you should apply," and he's like,
Yeah.
"Okay."
Well, I was
No.
getting to that point in my story,
Oh, sorry.
actually. No, I'm just kidding.
I thought you were gonna skip over it.
No.
So that was kind of
Um,
funny how it all works out.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, so like I said, I had, interviewed a couple places and didn't get it because of a lack of experience, which whatever, it is what it is, it's fine. But it all worked out in the end, obviously. So, so like literally a week before I was going to graduate, I think Amber had posted something on Facebook, and Haley and Amber were friends still on Facebook, and so Haley sent it to me, and yeah, like you said, so throughout my time in college, Haley and her parents had always said, "Oh, you should go intern at Krave, and it's really cool, and it's like right up your alley, and it's like athletic-based training and all this stuff." And I thought it was super cool. But I coached baseball back at my high school over the summers, so I really didn't get the chance to do it. It's just logistically wise, it didn't work out. So I knew of Krave, and I knew of all that. And so yeah, like a week before, Facebook post went out, and I was like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll do it." So I think I sent in my resume and came down, and that was it.
Yep.
The rest was history. So
and then he walks in. I do the interview, and I'm like, "Let's hire him, Tyler." I called. He's like, "Well, did you offer him the job?" I'm like, "Well, no. I thought we needed to talk about it first."
well, I
He's
think
like,
no, if I
just
remember
hire
right,
him."
Tyler. I came and interviewed with Tyler first. I think.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
He did, because you're like, "Yeah, he was good," and so then you're like, "Just let me know what you think." And
Yeah,
then
so
and
you
then you're like,
should've-
"Well, why
you should've
didn't you?"
just hired
Yes, yes. That's what it was.
No, you did. You
It's
did.
weird
You did.
though. Okay.
Yeah, because I remember.
Okay.
See, I remember all this shit. So
Good job.
I interviewed with Tyler first I remember because I wore my flashy orange belt because everybody said that you would like that. So,
Nice.
so I wore
Did I notice it?
I love it.
I don't know. Probably not.
I didn't say anything about it though.
Probably not. No, I don't think so. No.
A lot of times I'll be like, I fucking love your belt. I'm a big
You're
belt
ex-
guy.
No, so I thought it went really bad because you didn't say anything about my
look.
belt. No, I'm just kidding.
He's like in the interview. He's like
I was like, check this out. You see that?
adjusting his
Oh,
pants
I
a
love
lot.
it. I love
But
it.
yeah, so yeah, I interviewed with Tyler, and I think it ended up being like, so I think it was like the next week I came back down, or I remember, so here's the story that I remember.
Oh, let's hear it.
So I came down and interviewed with Tyler, like on, I think a Monday, because I think we had like that Monday, it was finals week.
Okay.
So I didn't have anything going on that Monday, so I came down and interviewed on
Were
Monday.
you nervous?
Yeah. And then, so that was like 9 o'clock on a Monday morning, right? It was the first day of agility season. And so Tyler was like, why don't you come back sometime and jump in a workout and just see if it's something that you like. And I was like, well, I'm here, all day. And so Tyler was like, there's a noon session, like hop in the noon session and we'll go from there. And he was like, it's the very first day of agility season, so it'll be super slow paced. Like we're just gonna break things down and go through everything. And I was like, oh, I was like, awesome, cool, slow paced, awesome. So like I went and I was like, yeah, I got some workout clothes that I had brought along. So I went, noon workout. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, he said slow pace. I went to Chick-fil-A and I grabbed some lunch at like 11:15. So I'm like rolling to the parking lot at like 11:45, like finishing my lunch. And I get in here and it was like 10 minutes in and I was like, I'm gonna throw up. I'm like, I'm gonna be sick. And then I remember thinking the whole time, I was like, I have got to like suck it up and like do like somehow okay in this workout, otherwise they're not gonna hire me. So I was like, I've got to like.
So it's so funny to me how like, because that you're not alone in thinking that. So many coaches have told us that like, oh, I thought like I had to do good
It's
in
like
my
pass
own
a test,
workout.
like you're passing
like a physical. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I mean, and obviously looking back, no. But like at the time, I was like, that's kind of stupid for you to think.
But kind of though, I can see like.
I mean, yeah.
Because if we had someone applying for a coaching position and we told them to squat and they're setting up a bench press.
I mean,
what I mean?
Like
that might be a
and
physical
even to coach,
thing.
like you have to be kind of physical.
Yeah.
Like
right.
you
have
have. So there's some, but we're not going to be like, dude, like you suck. Like
it's not like if I didn't come in and like squat 500 pounds.
Yeah.
Yes,
there's not a pass or fail test.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there is like obviously like. It would be nice if I would like show like that I can use good form on some things and stuff like that. But yeah, so like I like struggled through the workout and I like made it through. I also remember the other thing too is the matrix machines over here.
Yeah.
So I remember going through and like kind of looking around a little bit, and you had said that they're like self-powered treadmills. I'm like, all right. So I'd get over there, and I'd never used one before. I didn't get on one of the curves. I got on the matrix that you have to actually like, for people in Milwaukee that don't know, it's like you have to put your hands on and push, like you're pushing a sled.
Yeah.
And so I'm like trying to like run on it, like pumping my arms and everything. I'm like, it's not going anywhere.
Sure.
And I was like, what am I doing? I'm like, I'm embarrassing myself right now. So I held the sides and I like kind of like ran a lot. I'm like, I'm like embarrassing myself in front of everybody here. So. But somehow, yeah, then I came back next week and talked to Amber and got hired, and then that's been that. So,
And it's weird, like I have such good intuition. I think it's a good thing to have. I like it because like right when I start an interview, I'm like, okay, he's a good fit, or like he or she is not. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Like I'll call Tyler and I'll be like, nope, not even gonna give him a second chance. Like done. It's kind of interesting, but yep, New Year, good fit, and then you started here part time.
Yeah, so I was part time here to start. So yeah, I would have started in like May of 2019, and yeah, because I started like right before my birthday. So actually, technically, for like my first couple of days, I was 21 when I started here. So that sounds a long time ago. So yeah, I was part time.
And then you had to do COVID workouts. We had you doing those.
Oh
you had to get on live and do those.
Those were just awful. Yeah, not to lie.
You were a little nervous.
I was super nervous.
But you did it.
Yeah, so I was part time for like a year and a half.
You think looking back, like if you had to go on live and do a video now, would it be so different? Like you wouldn't be as nervous?
Probably not, because I have a little bit of Zoom experience now. Like at the time, I had like literally never used Zoom before. Like most people hadn't. And it was like, at that time too, me and Haley were in our apartment. We were in like the Turtle Creek apartments over here. So like we didn't have a very big apartment. And it was, for anyone that wasn't here during COVID, we had to shut down for a couple months, obviously. So we'd like hop on, we send a Zoom link out, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, do it at a different time every day. We'd record it. And I loved it when people would hop on live too. Like it was, it wasn't the same obviously as seeing everybody in here, but like having like
Some community.
15
yes.
people with their cameras on doing the same things, that was super cool. And it was kind of, I thought, like really connected people still,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
for a time when people, like for those first couple weeks, especially when nobody could like leave the house,
Yeah.
like that was a cool way to stay connected.
Yeah, that was huge.
Did that. It sucked, honestly, but we made it through and we went
But
back
we're,
and I was
we're not
so...
used to working out and like instructing. We're not like a group.
And that's the
class,
other thing
right?
too that was super hard for me. And again, like looking back, I probably didn't have to be quite as like conscious about it as I was. But yeah, like when we're coaching now, that's what we're doing. We're coaching. We're not working out with people. Like when we did the Zoom workouts, it was much. I mean, we did the same kind of. We tried to do the same rotations where, like, I literally was like, you know, curling and pressing like bottles of alcohol.
Right.
Was my weights that I would use, and people would like make fun of me for it. But like that's what we had.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was some stuff where like doing like agility and endurance and trying to like coach people while I was doing like the agility workout myself too. That was brutal.
Zach's
Right.
doing skater
Like,
jumps.
seriously, I was, yeah. And like literally what I was doing was like
And the dog was like biting his leg.
the dog
Like, the
that was
dog.
humping me and biting me, and I was like, so I would like, I remember we'd do like imaginary ladders and stuff, and so like it'd be like on the screen you'd see like someone like lateral high knees by, and if you think they'd go back the other way, and like, but yeah, so that was very interesting for sure. So I did that, and then during COVID, with the shutdown and everything, me and Haley got married in the fall of 2020. So I, you know, just financially, I had to be doing something that, you know, was somewhat stable at the time, to pay for my wedding and everything like that. So I went to Wells Fargo for, I think it ended up being 4 months that I was there. So that was also terrible. Sorry, Wells Fargo.
It's not
I was
your
in
thing.
a,
It's
it just
good
wasn't
for
my
some
thing.
people,
Yeah,
but for
exactly.
Some people, it's
So
not.
some people can do that. I was just not one of them. I was like in a call center. It just was not for me. I was like cooped
You
up
deal with
all
bitchy
day.
customers all day?
Yeah, it was interesting. So I mean, what are they going to do to me now? So I was in home preservation. So basically my job was people that were having troubles like paying their mortgages. They would either call us or get a call from like our collections agency. Then they'd send them over to us, and from there we'd pull them up. And like some people were like, you know, I missed a payment on my mortgage.
Right.
It wasn't hard to get them like caught back up. Some people was like, I didn't realize that I have been paying my mortgage for the last 10 years, and now I'm $300,000 behind.
Oh.
And I'm like,
wow.
first of all, how?
How?
Second of all, so there was some of them were super easy. Some of them were like, I've been on the phone with people for like an hour. We have to like,
Oh my
it was
gosh.
just a whole thing. So
Right.
yeah, you can look into that if you want to ever. So
Because you think of those call centers as just like people just bitching and all day. Like if I had
Yeah.
a job where like I had to call someone and they were just a complete asshole to me, like that would just
Yeah.
put me in the bitchiest, pissiest
It was. I was
mood,
not- I
like,
did not
all day.
enjoy it.
I just
I-
even when I went home, I feel like I'd still be bitchy because that one customer
Yeah.
that just like really got at me. Like
and that's kind of the way
you
it
have
was.
to
Like, not
be-
that you do, and eventually you do. Like I said, I was only there for 4 months, but eventually you do kind of get used to it, and it's kind of something where it's like, you know, they're not mad at you; they're upset with the situation.
Right.
So obviously, like with COVID, it was a little bit difficult financially for a lot of people. So there was extra people, and that's actually why they hired a whole bunch of us new.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I did that for a few months. It just was not for me. So I remember, for anyone that doesn't know, Krave is offering franchise opportunities. So a little plug there. So I remember at the time, so it was like September of 2020. And I remember I had talked to Amber, and we were like cleaning the gym or some shit. And I was like, hey, I'm doing this right now. I was still at Krave, very part-time, coaching a few sessions a week. And I was like, is there a way that we can like sit down and talk about like down the road, like franchising or something like that, just so that, because I'm like, I can do this shitty job if I know that I have a plan or a bigger picture that like 3 years or 4 years or 5 years down the road, I can like be working towards something, and I can like suffer through to get to that point of working towards something. And Amber was like, well, you know, why don't we sit down with Tyler and we can figure something out, and we can figure something out and see if maybe it works to, you know, do something different right away. So I remember we sat down and figured out how to make it work right away to come on full time, and been here ever since.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I remember that we were
Yeah.
cleaning the gym. It's kind of
Yeah.
out of nowhere. I'm like, damn, I came home. I'm like, Zach asked for like
Yeah, I was pumped.
we were more. Same with you, Dan.
yeah, and it was the
Like,
same. It was a very
the
similar
thing
situation.
is like
yeah.
when you have good employees that come to you and want more, like that is the best thing because I don't know, we just enjoy being around you guys. We enjoy your passion and your
Yeah.
heart and where it's at, and so
And I think-
it's really really cool.
I think in business in general, like for us, it may, like we always have to, like in both of your guys' situations, I think we went to a point where we would just have to explain the path, because I know
Right.
you guys are going to be successful, right? And I know because of your guys' success, the business is going to be successful, and so on and so forth. And so, like, we would just have to find a path to the first month or two. How are we going to build up? Because you go from coaching, maybe it's like our part-time coaches are probably coaching at
Up to
most
6 or-
7 to 10 hours a week at most.
Yeah.
And so then you go from, okay, how do you get from 7 to as close to 40 plus
full-time, right.
full-time, so that you can pay the bills and do all the things. And so that's the thing that we have to be like, okay, well, here's a plan for month 1, month 2, month 3, and I know that you're going to hit your goals and continue to advance yourself in the career, so that we can continue to advance you through the business, right? And so I think that works really well with people that are going to be successful.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, it was just once you, and I feel like the first telltale sign of both of you, whenever you guys are going to be successful, is that you approached us and
Yeah.
asked for more and say, hey, I really love this. I want to be a bigger part. And here's my end goal. Hopefully own a Krave here sometime in the future, hopefully near future. And how can we get to that? And so then we kind of plan out those years and those months to hopefully get to that point. So
Yeah.
that's like, to me, that's the fun part. Like me, the business guy, like the business minded stuff, is how can I help, or how can we help any of our coaches that are passionate, that love what they do, be able to be successessful and create a life in doing what they love doing, so that we can, because that's kind of what we're doing. I believe I speak for
Absolutely.
myself, right? But I think that you are too. And so, like, for us to be able to do what we love and make a life out of it, and then to be able to hopefully pass that on and pass that on and pass that on. Not saying that it's not a grind, because there's always a grind to any business as you grow, but I think that's something that's super special to me, and that's what's most exciting for me as a business owner, is to eventually help other business owners, and so then when you guys come, we ultimately, and now you are, I mean, you're probably working more than 40 hours a week, and you could be probably working, both of you could be working.
Oh gosh, yeah.
twice
Well, then
as
that's
much
the,
if
and
you
that's the
wanted
thing
to.
too, is like at the time, I mean, Waukee at that time was a year and a half into it, so
Right.
so we were in a solid spot, I think. But I mean, obviously, we're in a busy. I mean, we've grown a lot in the last year and a half, or
I mean, at least doubled.
doubled
Yeah.
since I started being full time. Yes, I mean, as far as like growth that's been happening, but between not only athletes coming in and doing training sessions, but there's more personal training clients. There's more. It's to a point where like I'm having to like reach out to some of our part-time coaches even and be like, hey, like we're gonna,
and we don't
need,
really
like,
promote
all
it
hands.
either.
And that's
Like,
that's the
it's-
crazy thing is so
And it's funny how things work out, because when you first approached us, it was after COVID, and we're like, crap, do we have any wiggle room? Like,
yeah.
do we have enough clients for him if he does take this? Because it's on us too to be like, okay, here's the steps. You have to trust us and
Right.
that you're going to have clients and walk away from your career right now.
Right.
So there's that trust, and so then it's like, okay, well, he's going to do this. Like, let's find him clients.
Yeah.
But for both of you, I feel like it worked out so well. Like, I
Yeah,
feel
no,
like
it worked
you guys
out. It's
quit,
it's
and then all of a
awesome,
sudden, like, we had more interest for PT and nutrition, and I'm like, okay,
I really both of
thank
it,
you,
yeah.
because it's like,
yeah, I mean, like I remember, yeah, as soon as I started up being full time, it was like more nutrition clients right off the bat, more personal training right off the bat. So that was really neat. But yeah, I mean, like you said, it was scary, to be honest.
for
You know,
sure.
it wasn't like super easy to, and I think it was a hard conversation of, I was 23 years old and sitting there and trying to figure out my future at 23 is kind of scary for anybody, I think.
Yeah.
And looking at it and saying, okay, here's a path where I'm in an office job with a very steady, I'm gonna clock in and clock out and get my same paycheck every other Friday, and kind of march through life doing that, or like here's a route where I'm gonna love what I do, and maybe it's a little bit more of a risk at that time, maybe a bigger risk, and having to have some trust in the process and everything. And I just remember like sitting down with Haley and talking about it, and being up in the air about it, and I really wanted to do it. And kind of the conclusion that we both came to eventually was, that we knew that you guys were gonna, take care of me and be able to, give me opportunities and do all that stuff. So not to start getting emotional on the podcast or anything, but yes, I mean, it's not something that I don't think that I would have been able to do for just anybody, So
Sure.
yeah.
Oh my God, stop it.
All right. So while Amber's crying, we'll wrap this up. Is there anything else that we want to finish with Zach's long-awaited interview?
That was super long too. So
Fine, you did it. You did
long-awaited.
Long-awaited and
No.
long.
We're right at it. We're right at an hour.
Perfect.
So it's not
Yes,
too
I
bad.
didn't
we
wanna bore
appreciate you.
people.
The athletes appreciate you, and you definitely help make Krave what it is today. So
Definitely.
keep kicking ass.
Try my best. So
Keep kicking ass, and let's grow this thing.
Yes, and so with that, thank you guys all for listening or watching. Again, pump those numbers a little bit. Hit the like, hit the comments. Comment below on Zach's favorite outfit, since we were talking about his belts.
Ooh, yeah.
If you have, there's not much because we all wear the exact.
we all wear the same clothes every
Krave
day.
shirt, gym
A
shorts.
Krave shirt and gym shorts. Basically, my only variation is like, am I going to wear like some crew socks today? I'm going to wear some ankle socks today.
Yep.
Like my basic variation.
That's
at this
why,
point.
to be honest, that's why I have to sometimes I have my crazy sock days.
Yeah.
Just because I gotta change it up.
Change it
I know,
up.
but honestly, though, like at this point, like I have so many Krave shirts at this point. Like I probably have. I gotta have
You have to
probably
have a lot.
20, if not more,
Right.
Krave shirts.
That's what somebody told me when I was early in the game. So I was, God, I can't even remember. I had been still in college, and they were telling me, because I was looking for jobs before we opened up Krave, and I was
Nutrition or something.
no, it would have been. I think it was a gym down in Wichita that I
yeah.
think it was a Genesis.
Okay.
Because they started out of Kansas, but I was looking into like a management job at a gym or whatever, and personal training and all that kind of stuff out of college. But anyway, they were like, yeah, the big thing that you're just, if you ever manage a gym, just know that like your entire collection of clothes is just going to be that gym. I don't know why that stuck with me,
Yeah.
but that is.
But it's accurate though.
very
Super
accurate, yeah.
Like,
But you think about college, right? So you're on a team and you get all the T-shirts from
Right,
the team,
it's-
and
right,
then you're like,
yeah,
wait,
yeah,
do I after college? Do I just go buy T-shirts from like Shields or like
Yeah.
Right,
what
yeah.
do you do? Because you get all
Yeah.
these free T-shirts.
But that's the crazy
And
thing
so
is
it's
I
funny
went
that-
the same thing. I went from all Coyote gear to all Krave gear.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And that's my
and I don't know
entire
if people
closet.
just go buy T-shirts now.
yeah,
They
I'm
just wear
like, what is
those.
it like to like go to a store and purchase a shirt? Like, what do people do that? Like,
It's
And
so
if you
funny.
do that, go to craveathlete.com.
yeah.
Because we sell these T-shirts. You can match all of the coaches. So no, but thank you all for listening. Thank you, Zach, for telling us your story. Obviously, guys, these stories and more on a weekly basis. If you're listening to the podcast, subscribe so you get the notifications. And one of the big reasons I think that we wanted, and then I'll cut it off so we can end this longer episode. But one of the big reasons I think that people like listening to this and like what we do at Krave is because you get to know your coaches. We're a smaller gym. We don't have 2,000 members, so the athletes and the coaches know each other and get to. We just had an outing where we had athletes over to the house and get to hang out with us and all of the coaches and stuff. So that's one of the big things and why I value interviews with Dan and interviews with Zach that we've had the last couple weeks, and we're going to have more with our different coaches as soon as we can fit anyone else in the studio, because this one doesn't. But
We're maxing at 4 right now.
yeah, we're
4 is
maxed out.
max.
But yeah, so it's awesome to get to know you guys more on a personal level, and I think that everyone would agree that's listening. That's a value that I think Krave has, and an advantage that Krave has as far as like business over a lot of those other gyms is just the relationships and what we have here as a family and a team. So, so with that, thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of the team. And remember, you're an athlete. Live like it.
An athlete. It's in your DNA.
Live like an athlete so that you can be successful in life.
You're an athlete. Live like it.
ANA, America needs athletes.